Hey guys, Colin here. Today I want to show you a dodging and burning technique in Photoshop that you may not have seen before. The reason that I like using this technique is because it allows us to work in a non-destructive workflow, and it also gives us better control over the range of highlights and shadows that'll be impacted as we're dodging and burning. So let's get started by dodging some of our highlights. The first thing that we want to do is create a new layer, and then we're going to add a mask to that layer. Next we're going to switch the blending mode to overlay, and then with the layer mask selected, go to image and apply image, and make sure that your settings match mine. Hit OK. Now we need to view the layer mask, so I'm going to hold Alt and click on it, and then I'm going to hit Control L to bring up our levels. So the way that this works is that the wider an area is on our mask, the more of an impact it'll have when we're dodging, and the darker an area is on the mask will have less of an impact as we're dodging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving our sliders around so that I can refine our mask to just the highlights that I want to work with. So you can see that the brighter areas here, up here, here, some of the city, some of the rock, that will show through as I start dodging. But the real dark areas like right here and some of the clouds won't really have much of an impact on them. Go ahead and hit OK and select our layer. Next I'm going to hit B to grab our brush tool. And I'm going to go ahead and hit X to make sure that my foreground is white. I'm going to hold Alt, right click, drag the mouse out to the right a little bit. And then currently our opacity is sitting at 20%, which I think is pretty good. Normally I do this somewhere between a 15 and 30% opacity. Here we can just go ahead and start painting in, just gently painting in some of the highlights. Maybe a little bit on the rocks. Okay. So you can see as I turn the layer on and off that we've added some nice contrast to the image. Now let's go ahead and work on burning some of our shadows. It's going to be almost the same exact process, so I'm going to create a new layer, add a mask, switch the blending mode to overlay. With the mask selected, I'm going to go up to image and apply image. This time we want to go ahead and select invert and then hit OK. I'm going to hold Alt, click on the mask so that we can view it, and hit Control and L to bring up the levels tool. This time, because the mask is inverted, we're going to be working with our shadows instead of our highlights. So again, we just want to refine this just a little bit so we get to the shadows, or so that we're only impacting the areas that we want to. Hit OK, select the layer, hit B, we already have our brush so that's fine. We do want to make sure that the foreground is black, so I'm going to hit X. And we can just start painting in again. And you can see that this is having a nice impact on our shadows, but it's not doing anything to the highlights, which is exactly what I was going for. Maybe make this a little smaller. Okay, so let me just go ahead and group these together by hitting Control G. And you can see that in just a few minutes we were able to add some nice contrast and depth into our image, and it was a completely non-destructive workflow, so if we decide later on we want to go back and make some changes, we can. To make your lives a little bit easier, I went ahead and created 2 free actions to help you use this dodging and burning technique, so make sure you check the description below for those free downloads. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that you guys learned something from this, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with my weekly tips, tricks, and tutorials. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one.